You're listening to the Bogus Otis Show. It's the only podcast dedicated to my buddy Sammy. Sammy Hagar, that is. He used to always say, what is understood need not be discussed. Well, you know what? What is understood need to be discussed, especially if it's about Sammy Hagar, the Red Rocker. Keep rocking, guys. Yeah!
Well, I know that you believe in me, and that's all I ever need. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. Hey, come hang with us again. Why? We are the world's only dedicated Sammy Hagar podcast. This is the Bogus Otis Show. I am Bohost Brent. That is Bohost Darren.
At your service.
It's a special night tonight, my friend. It's a special night.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
This is crazy.
We
so
gotta look. Do we have a first? Is it a first for us here?
It is. It absolutely is. So it's kind of cool when we get members of Sammy's band on as guests. You know, past, present,
and future.
Exactly.
Current, I guess is the word.
But I would say it's extremely rare, and this is absolutely a first to have a literal current member of the band on with us. So let's just let the proverbial cat out of the bag. Welcome to the Bogus Otis Show, Nathan Mercado. So Nathan, for our listeners who are avid followers of what's happening on tour right now, is recently joined Sammy's band in the Best of All Worlds tour, and he is literally on the road right now, joining us from a nice looking little hotel room. Maybe, I think is that.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's treating me well.
Yeah,
that's good. That's
Sammy
all that
set
matters.
you up well. He's good. It's all good. All right.
Everything's great. I've been treated so nice.
That's fantastic, Nathan. Welcome. It's we really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, while you're on tour, that's great. You found some time for us, so we really appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Well, we've got a couple of days off before the next one, and then we had a couple of shows like to open with, and then now we have a couple of days off, and then on to the next one. So looking forward to the next one for sure.
Well, I hope we're not cutting into your dinner break right now.
Oh no, I had a big lunch, and I'm looking forward to meeting actually Kenny later for some food.
Nice.
So we'll go out and have a few laughs.
All right, we have to bust on him and say, Kenny, you're next to join the Bogus Soda Show. You gotta.
Oh yeah, I'll put in a good.
Tell him we'll buy him a round of beers if he comes on the.
That's it.
I got you.
Put it on our tab. We'll pay it. If he comes on.
That's it. Exactly. So, Nathan, for our listeners who don't know, tell us a little bit about your story, and we'll get to that Sammy guy a little bit later. But right now, let's talk about you, SpiderCherry. You're a native of London, England, I believe, and you're living in the United States now. Is that correct?
That's 100% true. Yes, I'm from London. I'm currently in Florida, in Delray Beach, which is a nice little town, which I discovered about 10 years ago. And it's kind of being built up a little, like most places that are kind of a rarity to find, and then they kind of get populated as such. And so I live there now, been there for 10 years, and I like the sunshine. I like hot weather. I don't, over the cold. So from gloomy London town, I went to a nice little beach resort.
Nice.
But do they have a proper pub? Is there a proper pub?
Well, to be honest, unfortunately, the way civilization seems to go is a lot of those places close down, the mum and pop pubs that get taken over by the big corporate chains. But I mean, there's still a few. A couple of my local places that I loved very much have since disappeared, but doesn't mean I don't like the area still. I just adapt and change of lifestyle, change of place. But I do miss, there was a couple of bars like Kev Rose and Third, which were very popular when I was there, that unfortunately no longer exist. But other places come up. There's a load of cool places to go out and have a good time. So yeah, enjoy the beach life as much as the city life is cool too.
Very cool, man. I don't know if you know this, but another musician with blonde locks as you have, also resides in Florida. You know who Robin Zander is of Cheap Trick? He's in your area, man. You should hook up and go have a beer with him.
Oh, well, it's funny because a friend of mine who puts on some festivals at Old School Square is one of the amphitheaters in Delray. They actually did a show, maybe even last year or sometime this year. I can't remember, but they did a Cheap Trick did an opener for for one of the concerts there. So I didn't get to meet them, but I know they were there. So he must have not had to go too far for that
Yeah,
then.
he lives in your area. Well, look, we'll stay on the hair thing before we jump into your background and your musical
Oh
career and all
yeah,
that. I got to say, we all know and our listeners know that Sammy is a businessman.
for sure.
Did you have to pay a royalty fee to use his trademark hair for this tour? Well, because
Uh,
you got quite the rockin' hair, man. Did he
I
say?
appreciate it.
All right,
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been charged yet. Maybe he put it on my room. I don't know.
okay,
It's like
You'll,
one of those fees I didn't know about.
yeah,
nice.
you'll find out when you check
Yeah,
out.
what's this? Yeah, what's this hidden hair fee?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know whether yeah it comes up. I don't know how expensive it is, but yeah, if it is, I'll pay it. No worries.
All right, man,
Yeah, there you
awesome.
go. Let's talk a little bit about SpiderCherry. I think the bio is cool, but we want the real deal. What's the
Sure.
inspiration? Tell us about why you're going down the musical path that you are.
Oh, okay. Well, Spider Cherry was a an understanding of two things. I love Spinal Tap, which is a big any rock fan knows that one, right? So I don't know. A lot of inspiration came. I guess that's where I came with. I know it sounds a bit weird, but the S for spinal is kind of like the spider. But I had those theatrical thoughts because I write a lot of theatrical music. I feel like I'm quite theatrical in my expression. So but then the real main reason was from Guns N' Roses. I always thought that it was a cool thing to have symbolism and having a gun and roses. You don't even need to say the word Guns N' Roses. You know who it is. So I always thought, let's put two things together as a marketing thing that are already something. And I went banana monkey. I was like, no. And then I went spider cherry, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I looked like everyone does online. Has anyone taken that? And I looked it up, and all the domains were clear, and no one had ever taken that name. And I was very surprised because they're two kind of popular things, right? A spider and cherries. I also love red and black, and as I was saying before, the yin, the yang, the sweet, the poisonous. It's kind of grown into many reasons. I also play two pianos at the same time, which I kind of aspire to look a little bit like a spider, with my hands out as many arms or legs, and yeah, it just kind of turned into something that became me. And to be honest, that's how most people know me around town as Spider. Obviously on this tour, Sammy's calling me Nathan, which is cool too. That is my original name. But for stage purposes, most of the time I'm known as Spider Cherry. So if anyone wants to go check it out, it's everything spidercherry.com, Spider Cherry Facebook, Spider Cherry, all the other stuff.
Yeah, so listeners, check him out on Spotify. Some great tunes, some awesome videos on YouTube, killer tunes, and very unique videos too, right? So that kind of duality of Spider and Cherry, does that does that duality translate into your musical style and approach of songwriting?
Well, yeah, I mean, with the videos, I always think it's good to be self-deprecating. So I like an artist that doesn't mind taking the mick out of themselves. So for me, I did that. I always wanted to create something that was a bit eye-catching. I found a great director. Her name is well, she goes by the name Kid Wonderlust. So you can check her out for her stuff. She's great, and she basically came up I came up with the ideas for the sentiment of the track. A Little Bit Shy was the first one because basically for so many years I've written a lot of songs and I've just been a bit shy about putting them out. So it seemed kind of fitting to put out the first song as called I'm Just a Little Bit Shy. And then it's the kind of the subject matter is basically about a baby who is obviously not very shy, but I'm shy as a person. And then it's kind of the duality of being really embarrassing as dressing up as a baby, telling you're really a bit shy, But obviously that's not really the case because you have to dress up like a baby. So you've obviously got a bit of a eccentric personality, as some might say. So I mean, the duality is there for sure. Just because I think with life, it's not one thing. I'm sweet, I'm poisonous. I have both sides to my music, both sides to um, my personality, and I just think it's always good to have the yin with the yang. I mean, without one, there's no bad or no good without good or bad. You know how it is.
It's very
100%.
true. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm curious to dive a little bit into the theatrical tone and focus of some of your writing. Does this come from a place of do you come from a musical family? What was your upbringing in terms of being exposed to different genres and styles of music, and did that help you kind of chart your early path?
Well, it's interesting. I actually don't come from a very musical family, but from the start, my parents always wanted to play the piano. My dad had a club in the West End many years ago, and he always admired playing the piano because I think he had a piano player in his bar. And I think they both aspired to be pianists, but never did. And so my mum bought a piano when I was around 5 years old, and I think they just saw me take to it. It's funny because I always say that my mum really only bought the piano so she could put pictures on it, because a piano, it was like a baby grand, and it always looks good with pictures. And I was always fighting with her because if you know a baby grand, you open it up and it sounds completely different than when the hood is closed. So I had to move all the pictures to open it up. So, but I think that they love the fact that when I was a kid, very young, I kind of went to it, and they were always very supportive of my want to play music. Or I never really had too many lessons. I just kind of started with a couple of teachers, but I always wanted to write songs and I always wanted to sing. So a lot of what I do comes from singing and playing at the same time. A lot of musicians tend to play and then maybe later on they want to sing, and it actually is harder when you don't do the two together. It's kind of like tapping your head and rubbing your belly. So for me, it became more natural to just sing and play. And so very fortunate. I think as kids, we don't really understand what we're doing. We just fall into something. And luckily, it became a career and a job for me. And I've never done or wanted to do anything ever since.
That's awesome, man. And I know that you learn by ear, which
I
is
do, yes.
that's amazing,
I've
man.
done. Thank you. I mean, I would always like to learn more theory. As I get older, I try to be a bit more mathematical, but I feel like I never really got that I don't know what that gene is, but the one where you want to sit and concentrate and listen to a teacher. I don't think I had that in me. I just tended to want to do my own thing. So, I could never really play classical music because it takes a little bit more understanding, reading and stuff. But I can listen to stuff and repeat it and get to know it. And when it comes to contemporary stuff, I find it very easy to hear the pitch and figure it out.
That's pretty cool. So I mean, I play guitar, and that's how I learned. And at some point, like yourself, I thought, well, maybe I'll go back and learn the proper way, because I have weird fingerings that don't aren't correct. But then
So,
the band I was in, they said, don't do that because that might change you kind of a unique angle. So, do you feel learning to play by ear, how has that brought a unique sense of songwriting and musical choices to your
Well, it's
music?
very interesting you say that because I write on the guitar sometimes. I've written many songs on the guitar, and I always said to myself, actually learning sometimes actually can decrease your opportunity to not understand something. And it's kind of a weird duality of thought because by not knowing something, you can be more inspired because everything is basically lyrics and melody when it comes to contemporary stuff. So, you're just trying to be inspired. And sometimes when you don't know which way you're going, um, I mean, in case of a weird analogy, it's like going to a movie, right? When you don't see a preview, I remember seeing Final Destination for the first time. I didn't know anything about it. I remember some friends going, "We're going to go and see a movie." Went in the movie, and I was blown away. It really, especially that bus scene when she gets hit by the bus at the end, and you're just like, "Oh my God, I did not expect that." It was like the best horror movie I'd ever seen. But I feel like if I'd have seen the previews, it wouldn't have tasted as good. And I feel like that's the same thing when you understand the chord progression of a song. you can still appreciate it, but you look at it from a different perspective. And so when you don't know anything about music, you can love music from such a different angle than a person who understands music. Like I'm always listening to stuff. Like a drummer will always be like listening to the drum beat. They're not appreciating the whole song sometimes because they're just like, oh, I like the drums maybe, or they're like, oh, I don't like the song because the drums aren't that cool in it. But it could be a great song. And I feel like there's so many perspectives you can look at writing, at playing, at listening. So, it's not one thing. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't learn. It doesn't mean you shouldn't study. It just means everything could be a different thing. It could be
Yeah.
a
It
anyway.
was explained to me like if you don't know the rules, then you might break them in a more unique way. I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
hey,
an
that's pretty cool.
interesting.
I'm gonna follow that. So I never went back for lessons.
Yeah, okay, and it's a good way. It's a good excuse as well. I like
Yeah,
it.
of course.
Yeah.
We saw that you were advertising a few shows before you were getting ready to head out on this tour. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on sort of the yin and the yang again, the convergence of playing live and recording music in the studio. A lot of times you hear musicians say, that I don't enjoy the studio, or maybe I enjoy the studio, but being in there recording and writing songs is just an excuse to be able to go out and play them live. And I think some are maybe the opposite. So I'm curious, sort of where you come at it. Is one a means to the end for the other? Is there one that you prefer more than the other, or is it just about I get to play and I'm happy?
I mean, I love playing live, but I love recording. It's a very hard thing to say. I feel like if I didn't have one, I would want the other. The grass is always greener on the other side. I do think that if I was just recording all the time, I have a friend of mine, he's in sync licensing, and he always wants to come and jam on some of my shows just to get out because he doesn't do as many shows. But I feel like it's the exact opposite as well. It's like get me in the studio if I'm always just live gigging. So I love both. I mean, I wouldn't trade one for the other. I Yeah, that's a hard one because I love both. I don't really know which one I would prefer. I think I would miss one if I didn't have it. So yeah, I'm good on both. I love recording. I love playing. I love music. I mean, I love music as much as eating or sleeping. It's not a thing I could live without. I think I wouldn't be as anywhere near the person I am if I didn't have it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So look, we're gonna keep on the line of dualities. Obviously, before the moniker of Spider came along, you started using two keyboards set up across from each other and playing each with one hand. Is the talent in its own right when I think about it. Me using two hands on one piano is a little bit difficult, but when you're doing one on each separated from each other, when did that come about? And part two is we've been waiting for somebody with those abilities to play a Van Halen song with Sammy Hagar that's never been performed live called Feel So Good. Can you please tell Sammy you're the dude to now play it?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'll have a word. I'll say you guys told me and see what happens. I'm more than
We
happy
need we
to
need
do.
both your hands, man, for that tune.
I got you. Yeah, I'll have a word with him and see what he thinks. Yeah. Well, the two piano thing actually came for many years. I don't know. It's funny because I lived in Mallorca, which is this little Spanish island, for a few years, and when I was like 16 or 17. And I remember I would do a show every night and I'd go down to this bar called Dicey Riley's and there was an Irish band played there and one of the keyboard players played the bass. And I always thought that was really cool. And I think that inspired me later on in life. And so for many years, I would basically play one piano. I'd split the keyboard into maybe the first quarter would be a bass and then the other bit would be a piano or whatever instrument, flute, electric piano, organ, and I would do it that way. And then about 8 years or so ago, I had a friend of mine, and she had this little 49 keyboard, which is still the one I use today. And she was like, I started jamming on it, and she was like, "Oh, I'll sell it to you for like $400 if you." I don't use it, and I was like, "Oh, cool." And when I got home, I had my '88 one, and I was like, hold on, let me just stick it there. And I realized that my style, which again is a weird technique, I have a very weird technique of playing, but it works really well for playing bass, the one note, because most bass styles is one note, you're playing one note at a time most of the time. So I noticed that I could do it that way. And it actually became easier for me because if you think about it, when you put two pianos on top of each other, you haven't really got the movement or flexibility of your elbows. But when you put your hands out like this, you've got so much more flexibility. And because I don't need to look at what I'm playing, it became so much easier for me. And then what was even funnier is when I got this gig with Sammy, they wanted two keyboards in the exact same place that I would put them. But yet the other keyboard players would just play one. And to be honest, I feel like without putting anyone in it, the other keyboard was just for show. Or maybe they would turn and play the other keyboard for one song or whatever for a different sound. But mainly they would just play one at a time. And I said that I was going to give it a little bit more. And so what I did for things like Right Now, which is a great song, I decided instead of playing the bass, which I normally play the bass with my left hand and the piano with my right, was let me just put it down a few octaves and just play the lower end of the piano on the left hand and then just do the riff, the riff in Right Now on the right hand. And I think it looks cool. And it's basically my signature move. So I get to play a few songs like that. And, as I say, I'm comfortable doing it and I think it looks cool. But that's how it happened, really, was just from a friend of mine selling me a keyboard and me putting it there and thinking, oh, I prefer it to the side at a right angle than I do as opposed to two keyboards on top.
Damn right, man.
It,
Definitely looks cool, man.
it does look cool.
Thank you.
There's no doubt about that.
Rock stars need a signature move.
That's it. So, talk to us about how you land yourself in the spot that you are now. What's the phone call? What happens to say, hey, you want to come out and join us on this tour?
Okay, well, it's funny. I'm old school, right? I'm a 60s, 70s, 80s child lover of music. So that's my main 3 decades of what I love. And not to say I don't, I love, earlier 50s, 40s, 20s music, going back and stuff, but mainly when contemporary music, that kind of decades. I always wanted to get discovered as a person of talent as opposed to an internet baby who puts stuff on YouTube and says, "Look at me, look how great I am." So, not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I've again self-deprecating as opposed to, look at me, I'm slightly narcissistic in a sense. So the way the world has just thrown this at me is very interesting. So I was doing a festival called Beach Was on the Beach, which is a festival that happens in Delray Beach, put on by United We Rock, which again is a cool little festival. I was so happened to be jamming kind of like the after party in a place in Boca Raton of all places, and I knew Greg Bissonette, who is the drummer for Ringo and many other people, was coming down, and I just so happened to speak with him, invited him up to play. He'd seen me play without blowing my own trumpet. He was blown away. I spoke to him at the end of the night and said, if you ever need a keyboard player or whatever, please let me know. He was humble enough to say, I'm just a guy who, I'm just a sub guy. I do my thing, even though he played with like the most amazing artists in the world, if not on so many records as well. And so a month goes by, I think nothing of it, and I get this call, and it's like, okay, I might have an opportunity for you to join this band, but I can't tell you who it is. And I'm like, okay, fine. I have no idea if this is going to come true. So anyway, so a few weeks later or so, I get a call saying we'd like to speak with you, and then eventually I had a conversation with Sammy, and I was actually just on my way to the gym. I was about to go into the Planet Fitness, and who's on the phone is Sammy Hagar, and I'm like, oh my god, which is pretty cool. We have a conversation, we have a laugh, and I tell him that I've been learning the songs, and I think we just got along. And I don't know if there was just a bit of trust, or obviously he checked me out. I'm sure he didn't just go off blindly. You know, he'd been told, and Greg Bissonette knows. I believe he knows what a musician is, and so I
Oh
got the
yes.
opportunity. I got
That's
the
awesome.
opportunity to do this, and as I say, I never looked back, and I listened to the songs as much as I could, learn the repertoire. I learned more songs than are in the set, and I'm sure we'll be playing them at some point. And yeah, and the next thing I knew, it was game on, and I believe that my whole life I'd been waiting for this opportunity, and so I'm trying to grab it by two horns and show everyone what I've got, and then amongst that, show everyone what else I've got, which is my SpiderCherry stuff, which is basically all the stuff I've been hiding for many years. And so from this moment onwards, I really plan to do a lot more than I've ever done before. My social media stuff has been blowing up. It's been amazing, and the shows have been amazing, and everyone's been so nice. I can't say like anything but nice things about everyone. Great, I'm in a band of rock stars, legends of time, and I'm just happy that I'm hopefully fitting in and doing my part first off, and then secondly, see where what the future holds.
Yeah,
That's pretty
that's
epic,
great.
man. I'm just curious, like, how much was Sammy and Van Halen with Sammy on your radar before obviously getting the phone call?
Well, it's funny because I just watched an episode of South Park, which again is pretty random. But there's a bit where they have all the religions in Israel, and it goes, "We shall unite under one symbol," and the cross and the Star of David and the crescent go into the Van Halen sign. And I just thought that was just it was like the timing of what the hell? How did that episode just come up straight away? But yeah, I mean, everyone in there, brother knows who Van Halen is. I've known Van Halen for many years. Great, great songs. I know a lot of the beginning Van Halen stuff. I know a lot of the Sammy stuff. I was just turned on to Montrose, which again, I think that's probably why I like the songs so much because they're new to me. I think we all love stuff that we'd never heard before because it's fresh. But yeah, I mean, obviously they were on my radar. It was just something I never dreamed that I would be in. And now I'm there and it's like a dream come true. I feel like I'm in Disney World or something.
Well, you talk about like, just touring with, if you're just talking about just being around Sammy, but
Mm.
if you joined a tour that had any one of those three gentlemen in that band, you'd be with a living legend. You got all of them in one
I
band.
know. I know Joe Satriani is like a guitar hero, and he's such a nice guy. Michael Anthony is obviously a legend from the beginning of Van Halen. And then Kenny Arnoff is just, first of all, the loveliest guy I know. And he's just been around, he's played with everyone from the Smashing Pumpkins, you know, to, everyone here and far and wide. So I think he's the most recorded drummer
Yeah,
in all rock and roll.
yeah.
So, and here I am. So we'll
There's
see.
one
We'll
group
see.
he hasn't played with though, I think. I think there's one group. Oh yeah, the Boca Soda Show.
Ah,
Oh,
yes, yes.
okay. I see what you did there.
Plugging it. We're plugging it, buddy.
That's
Yeah, well,
great.
if you would like, I'll have a word with him this evening and see
All
what
right.
I can
Can you
I
bust on
can do.
Mikey too? We want to get Mikey. We're at season 7. We got to have Mikey on, man.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put the word out,
Harass him,
and
please.
I'll see what I can do for you,
All right.
gentlemen.
All right.
There we go. Cool.
So, was there a moment during rehearsals where you felt like you truly belonged there?
As they say, never count your chickens, right? So I would say that rehearsals definitely set my mind at ease. Um, the time I felt the most comfortable was, to be honest, we rehearsed the first night in St. Louis before the show. And when we went through the songs, I was like, you know what, I've got this. I didn't feel it's funny, even playing by yourself, as musicians know, when you're playing by yourself, even to a record, it's very different than playing with a band. So once you feel the band's energy and you feel like, damn it, yeah, I feel this now because I've been practicing this for so long and it feels great. That's where you're like, okay, I can do this now. And that was the moment I felt like, you know what, I'm ready for this gig. I wasn't even nervous the first show, to be honest. just from that first rehearsal in the venue. It really helps being in a venue before you do a show. I'm not going to lie.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, that's great. So do you you're up there on the riser next to Kenny. Do you guys sort of give each other cues, or are you kind of, do you have eye contact and you have those moments that you guys are just both kind of feeling it and gelling really well together?
Oh, yeah, 100%. We're normally pulling faces at each other, trying to make each other laugh. It's a great, honestly, it's such a great band. The whole point of rock and roll is that you enjoy it. And I think that's one thing that some people forget sometimes. You're supposed to enjoy it. If you're concentrating too much on what you're doing, I think you're not enjoying it. And I do genuinely believe that comes when it comes to rock music. You've got to be enjoying it. That's where rock, and it's there's some realness to rock music. Um, and I genuinely feel like if I think too much about what I'm doing, I mess up. I just need to rely on my instincts and rely on my ability of what I've practiced to know that I've got it, rather than thinking, oh no, what if I don't have it? When you question yourself, that's when you mess up. Never question yourself. Go with your instincts.
However, the creative mind comes with the imposter syndrome, which can be sometimes step in when you don't want it, right? But look,
100%.
we talked about your piano and those types of awesome skills. So no one got nervous about you having two pianos set across from each other? Like, oh, whoa, dude, you sure you can do this like that? Are you sure? Like, okay, they're all good.
To be honest, I don't think anyone has ever said anything to me yet.
Oh, because they suck, right?
I don't even know if anyone's noticed I'm playing two at the same time. I swear. That's so funny.
Well, my question is
But
this. Aside from the piano, you're also a singer. And with Sammy, one of the greatest vocalists, if not the greatest rock vocalist of all time. On this show, we think he
sure.
is. Uh, was meshing your voice with Sammy and Mikey something that had to be sorted? And did you feel you fit in that as well, or what do you bring to that trifecta?
That's a good question. I actually I'm not really a session guy as such, even though I am a session guy right now. I'm a front man. That's what I've been for most of my career. Doesn't mean I can't be a session guy, and I don't mean that I'm not a session guy in that respect. But the point is that because I know that I do actually know how to sing harmonies, I do know how to be the backing of someone who is a front man. So for me, I can really see what Sammy's doing, and I feel like I respect it and I get it. So when the voices go together, I know what not to do. I feel like it's what you should always know what not to do as opposed what to do, and go with that. And I feel like our voices do mash together, and one thing I do enjoy is that I'm in a rock band because I feel like I have quite a rocky voice when it comes to singing, as opposed to maybe I don't know, a slightly more timid voice as such, as a, I don't know, as a high voice. I have a bit more girth, as one might say, to if needed. So I can cover bases if that's what's needed in the song, or I can stay out, or I can do the harmonies. I've basically been doing all three, and as we do more shows, it develops into more of a unit as such.
Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome.
Do you have a favorite song or two that's in the set list right now? Is there one that comes along in the show in these first couple of shows that you're like, yeah, this is the one for me?
Yeah, I mean, I like all the tracks. I mean, they're all great. I think every piano player that's ever played with him has said the same answer. They all say right now because it's the song that is possibly the most complex and also the most challenging as such. I enjoy playing that a lot. I do enjoy the first number we played, which is "Why Can't This Be Love," just because a lot of people don't realize that that's a synth. They think it's the guitar part because it's a very interesting synth part. So, programming the sound was interesting. I think I found a very good imitative sound of the Oberheim, which is the original sound, I think, of that song. Um, but yeah, I enjoy all of them. I love a lot of the Montrose stuff, man. It's really cool. They're cool songs. I mean, heavy metal, Rock Candy, which we're gonna play soon, I'm sure. Bad Motor Scooter. They're all fun little tunes. They're rock, like they're fun jam rock and roll songs, whatever you want to call it. I don't have any complaints about any of the tunes, to be honest. I think the set's great. I enjoy playing Eagles Fly. I think that's a powerful tune. I really like the song Encore, Thank You, Good Night. I think that's a really catchy one. I seem to have that stuck in my head when I'm trying to sleep most nights now. Um, which it can be a bit of a pain in the ass, but at the
Yeah.
end of the day,
But hey, Sammy
at the
wrote it
end
while
of
he was
the
sleeping.
yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, a good song makes you think it's in your stuck in your head, right? So yeah, I think Sammy writes great tunes. The 5150 album was awesome. There's some great songs, and I'm sure we're going to play a bunch more with Chickenfoot and stuff, especially when we go over to England. And I think they did pretty good Chickenfoot over there as well. I look forward. I really like the song Bigfoot from Chickenfoot. So funny, Bigfoot, Chickenfoot.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to playing some of those great tunes, and yeah, yeah, yeah. No real favorites, I guess. When you like all of them, so.
Epic, man. So, how will this experience change you in your future in writing your future material?
Well, it's funny. I just wrote a song in my room the other night, which I played to Sammy yesterday, and I think he digged it. So we'll see. I write all the time. I have a lot of songs that I haven't put out. So I just finished 3 tracks that I've got that just was sent to me. That I'm very happy with. I have to be honest. They sound really good. Very rock. As I say, I want to put together my theatrical show. For many years, I was influenced by Queen. Um, for quite a long time. So I wrote like some Bohemian Rhapsody kind of songs because I always wanted to do a couple of songs where I put 3 songs together and make it like this. I don't know, 7 to 10 minute track that just. I don't think people do that as much anymore, and I feel like it's missing from the pop culture. So, I have a whole show that I've written. I'm trying to work out how I get this uh put this together. I'm planning on putting a band together as soon as I get back, and to start really trying to promote that. Everything's going to be SpiderCherry because, as I say, that's the name. That's who I am. Um, but yeah, I'm continuing to write. I just have so much stuff already that I just need to put it out. So at the moment, I'm just talking to some people about putting out these new songs. Um, and I say, you've seen the 2 videos that I
Ah,
have put out. Those were the first 2 tracks. I thought, let me get a couple of things out. And yeah, onwards and upwards.
awesome.
I love it. Fantastic. We talk often at the show that I think there was a little bit of prog rock in Van Halen all the way through the arc of the career, especially in the Sammy era. And we riff a lot about some of those songs from Balance and others that there really is that prog rock sort of feel. So maybe there's even a collab here with Sammy. You can drag him back into some prog roots, and you guys can write some stuff together.
I did actually. We spoke. Again, I don't want to count my chickens, as they say. I keep saying that sentence. It's like my sentence of the day every day at the moment. But yeah,
Count your
I'd
chicken
spoken to him
foot.
about.
Count your chicken
Yeah,
foot.
yeah, I got my chicken. But I spoke to him about that yesterday, actually, because I would love to do that. I mean, to be honest, Joe Satriani, what a great guy. I want to get some of these guys featured on some records. So that's definitely something I plan to do in the near future. And as I say, I've got so much stuff I'm ready to do. I'm kind of like excited, anxious. Um, yeah, I think those are the 2 words I would use. I don't feel nervous as much anymore. I feel like this is where I belong, on a big stage, and I'm just happy to be here, happy to do my part. And as I say, the future. It's funny, in England we have a company called Orange. They say the future looks bright, the future looks orange, but the future looks good. I'm planning on some big things, and onwards and upwards and see what happens. Really.
Well, it's a treat for us to get you now on this riding this wave, and I think the arc is just going to keep going up and up for sure. And you've got a couple of fans in us, and we're looking forward to watching where things go next. And we'll do absolutely everything we can to just promote the heck out of you, because
Oh, thanks.
we like you.
Yeah.
I feel like there's big things ahead for you.
Yeah, and your tunes are catchy, man. I was listening to them today. Had them on repeat. I got, they're going back in my head too, man. You're talking about Bigfoot and those types of songs. There were some earworms going on in my head too, man.
Oh
So,
yeah, I appreciate that.
what's
Got the groove.
what's the most rock star thing you've seen go on so far, shenanigan wise?
A couple of TVs out the window,
Nice.
Yeah.
Not yours, I hope.
Now that is not true. Okay, I don't want to get in trouble for that. No, um, to be honest, that's an interesting one. I don't know. I mean, at the moment, we've only done a couple of shows, so I say give it time. Everyone's been really cool. That's a hard question to answer right now. Um,
It could
yeah,
just
I
be,
mean,
the door opens to
I,
Sammy's
I you
plate and
know
he comes
what?
up with sunglasses and just points.
I'll
Like,
be
that's pretty
honest with
cool.
you. Being in a private airplane is pretty rock star. So, being chauffeured and then flown, picked up, and all that stuff is very, very cool. I mean, it's a boy's dream. I mean, the guy's a living legend, and it's just the way a legend should be treated, I think. And so, I'm getting to ride along with this journey, which is pretty rock star in itself. I don't expect much more than that, to be honest, at the moment. And we'll see, as I say, what the future holds. But um, staying in nice hotels and getting to see the country. I've only been to like 4 or 5 states so far, so for me to see some of these places is a dream come true. Doing the residency in Vegas coming up is amazing. That I'm very much looking forward to. I've never been to Vegas, so very cool.
Yeah, I
That's
love
where some rock star things may happen. Of
Yeah,
course, you
yeah,
can't
for
tell us
sure.
about it because it has to stay there, but
that's it exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be cool.
thanks for hanging in with us and spending some time. And I think as you said, that company in England had coined the future is very much orange for Spider Cherry. That's for sure.
The
or
future's
red,
bright.
or red.
Red, yeah, red and black.
It's red and black. Paint it. Thanks for
Exactly.
hanging with us. Real pleasure to chat with you. It's
Oh
been
yeah.
fun. It's been
Thank you
fun.
so much, guys. Awesome.
Hey everyone. All I can say is thanks for listening and go get yourself some Spider Cherry. And we are the Bohos out.
Sometimes it just ain't enough.
Sammy. Wait, Sammy-centric podcast? Come on. You need a Michael Anthony podcast for that Sammy Hagar. Come on. Keep rocking, guys. Yeah.
I've been wanting to tell you that I think what you're doing is really cool, and I'm serious. Well, you guys are carrying, the biggest flag, made a whole fucking show out of it.